QuakeCon 2010, now a distant memory, the Astringent Gaming Journal crew had a chance to meet an independent game developer named Brad Carney. Mr. Carney is working on a game called Wrack, a fast-paced, Doom-inspired, cel-shaded first-person shooter with retro sensibilities. At this year's QuakeCon, we luckily had a chance for a follow-up interview. For the next half hour, he and I will be discussing Wrack, his previous projects, video games today, and his experience working with Bobby Prince, the man behind the soundtracks to the much-lauded id Software games of old, like Doom, Quake, and Wolfenstein. Enjoy!
Hi everybody, this is Luke Tatum, aka Origin of Bob, with the Astringent Gaming Journal, and I'm here with Brad Carney, developer of Wrack, previously known as The Last Bastion, previously known as
Project Vega, previously known as Strike. We've had many names.
I didn't know the last one.
Yeah,
that's... Yeah. So if you want to talk about a little bit about what you do, what you've been doing, your games.
Sure. Well, Wrack is it's a cel-shaded first-person shooter that's been heavily influenced by Doom and a lot of other classic games like Mega Man, Castlevania. So it has a lot of elements of Doom, like the fast movement, the many simple monsters that you fight at once. And it also has things like bosses and store. There's like a live system and a checkpoint system. So if you die like halfway through the level, you don't restart at the beginning. You restart at the nearest checkpoint. And it's all very seamless. So it's a lot of fun. It's very fast-paced. There's a lot of action in it. And, that's something I think that's been missing from a lot of games these days. A lot of games are slow. You only fight like a couple monsters at once. They're very brown. So it's like I want like a colorful, vibrant, action-packed game that really harkens back to kind of when games I thought were a lot better. So that's what I've been trying to do with Wrack.
Would you say there's like a cutoff where games started to decline? I don't want to put you on the spot, but
yeah, no. I think kind of after Duke Nukem 3D, like that was like the last game. It was like really fun. Like that was kind of like the end of an era to me.
Really?
It seems like a lot of games since then. It's like because I think then is like when the PlayStation 1 came out. Like games were really starting to get into 3D. And the technology wasn't very good at the time, so everything, like polygons were gigantic, the texturing wasn't very good. So I think once games started to really try and be 3D and abandon 2D, that's kind of when I think we started to get into a new age, and games are starting to not be quite as good. And you even saw that in first-person shooters, like Duke Nukem 3D and Doom. They use sprites for all their enemies and everything, but once you got to using 3D models, it takes a lot more time to render a model instead of a sprite, so you can't have as many monsters, and you can't have that fast-paced, action-packed gameplay. So I kind of see where they were going. Like they wanted to make things look better, they wanted to try and get to the next level, but I kind of feel like the technology wasn't there yet to let them do that.
How do you feel about, say, Serious Sam?
Oh, I love it. It's great. I've had so much fun playing the HD versions they've put out recently.
Yeah, me too.
They've been so great. Just tons of monsters at once. I love the gameplay. And just the effects. The engine's great. I love watching especially like I forget what they're called, but they're like the giant mech creatures that shoot the lasers.
Yes, I can't think of it right now.
Yeah,
I look like a noob on the camera, but
yeah. I'm there with you, but I just love the way like they shrivel up, the little like fire, like smoke effect when the bodies dissolve. It'd be great if the bodies could stay around, but I understand why they can't do that.
Well, sure, yeah, it just keeps it fast.
Right. But you're in an arena where monsters like keep piling in. So if the bodies kept piling up, you'd be at 3 frames a second eventually.
Oh yeah,
that wouldn't be fun. So
not at all.
But I think Serious Sam kind of shows you like what's possible with technology these days. Like you can still have like high resolution, great looking models. And still have there be a lot of them. You can still fight a lot of monsters at once without having severe performance issues.
Sure, and that's something you're trying to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. So now before we talk too much about Wrack, which I've played, I think it's great. I want to talk a lot about it, but if we can get too much into that, I want to talk about what you've done before. So you're responsible for the infamous or legendary project, or not project, but Skulltag.
Yes,
right?
yes. Skulltag is something I started actually a very long time ago. Like I'm talking the BBS days. But someone had made a mod called Death Tag, which I forget exactly how it worked, but you got key cards, and it was a lot like it was basically you had to go through some kind of obstacle course to score a point. And I thought that was really interesting. Like, you had to have your teammate open the obstacle course for you, and then you had to go in, go through it without getting killed. Okay. And if you got all the way through, you got a point. And I kind of came with a variation for that, using the skull keys that Doom has. So basically, like, you grab the key, which is like the flag and capture the flag, and then you use that key to like unlock a door at the end of an obstacle course. And then you score a point. So it's kind of similar to Death Tag, but your teammate doesn't have to unlock a course for you. You just go grab the skull out of the other team's base, and then you go run through some obstacle course to score a point. So it kind of ended up being like capture the flag, but being the flag and the score point were decoupled. Like instead of just bringing the flag back to your base, you take the flag somewhere else to score a point. And you could have like different obstacle courses which give you different amounts of points. So there could be like a super hard one that you have like rocket jump up to, and that gives you 2 points. Whereas like if you just put it on the one on the floor that you don't have to rocket jump, that's 1 point.
It's a much more interesting take.
Yeah. And I was kind of upset that it never really took off, even with the Skulltag source port I made. But getting to that, so eventually John Carmack released the source code to Doom,
right?
And I wanted to make this. You know, this was a few years later, and I wanted to make like a really great version, like a properly done version of this, because you couldn't really do it correctly in the original Doom 2 EXE. But I wanted to do a correct version of this, and I couldn't find a programmer to do it. So I was like, all right, well, how hard can this be? So I kind of started tinkering around with the Doom source code. I eventually kind of figured out what I was doing, and I eventually kind of started to make a full-fledged Doom source board from there. And eventually, I wanted more things because I'm ambitious. I think big, so I wanted like multiplayer, new maps, and new game modes and everything. So I started slowly adding things to the source board, and eventually it turned into a really popular Doom 2 source board that it is today. It has all kinds of new features like new game modes that capture the flag, Skulltag, Terminator. But I mean, mostly people seem to use it to play their own kind of mods with it. Yeah, I mean that's kind of something I learned from it. It's like people didn't necessarily want to make the new content we created. They kind of want to play their own things, make their own things.
Sure.
And that's why Wrack is going to really focus on modding. That's going to be a big aspect of it. You're going to be able to make your own maps and mods pretty seamlessly. All that capability is going to be built into the engine. And I really look forward to what people come up with.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best thing about being here at QuakeCon every year, or I guess you've been doing for several years.
Oh, the past 2 years, or past 3 years. This is my 3rd time here.
This is our 2nd time, so
okay.
Yeah, not a huge history, but I mean, the thing with Quake is you've got that mod community.
Exactly.
You've got all of that here.
Exactly.
Even more probably than any other game I can think of. I mean, Morrowind, Oblivion, stuff like that.
Right.
Yes, but even more so.
I think modding gives games huge longevity, and it gives you just a huge capacity to build a great community. And for people, I mean, I'm personally really thankful for modding, because if John Carmack hadn't released a Doom source code, I wouldn't be here today. I would have never learned how to do this. I would have never learned how to mod a game. I would have never learned how to create a game. I just want to keep that whole modding philosophy going, because it seems like it's not being continued in a lot of modern games. Like I think one of the modelers who's sitting right here for Wrack,
off camera.
I know. He was telling me that Rage is modding. Like Carmack said, it's too complicated to be feasible for regular people to just pick up and start modding. And I mean, I kind of understand, because the effects in Rage are insanely technical, and I wouldn't expect most people to just be able to learn them. So I'm trying to keep Wrack simple so that it's feasible for people to just kind of pick it up and start making their own levels and modding and everything, because I think that's hugely important.
So, actually at the keynote on Thursday, John Carmack was talking about how, dance championships right next to QuakeCon. Anyway, he was talking about how he didn't really have any kind of mentor, he didn't really have anybody to teach him how to do stuff. That was a question from a fan, you know, who did you learn from, who inspired you, because you inspired me. And he said, he just kind of thought, you know, I think I could do that, and just spent the rest of his life doing it.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of the same story for you.
Oh, I mean, I've had Carmack, you know, I've had someone to look to. I mean, I got my start programming engines by working with the Doom engine, which is fantastic.
Right.
So
that's what he recommended for people who are new to game design, that kind of thing, is go and take apart classics, go and rebuild the classics. You know, find out how to make Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
Find out how to make Super Mario.
That's a great suggestion.
And I just thought, you know, that's awesome, because he said that he might actually take the time and make, you know, another little Commander Keen game or something. They probably couldn't market it because it isn't known for that anymore.
Right.
But just as an exercise in working with classics. And so, you know, that's something to respect, I think. But this is an interview about John Carmack, so let's talk about Wrack. I've played it, like I said, and it's fun. You've got the spirit of Doom, you've got the spirit of Quake in there. It's fast paced, and I mean, what else would you like to say about just kind of the direction, the inspiration?
Well, like I mentioned before, you know, a lot of the inspiration has just been from just a lot of the classic games that I grew up with that unfortunately don't really seem to have been made too much in the past 10 years. But you know, I mean, you know, your Dooms and your Quakes. It's like, you know, I keep telling people who are trying out Wrack, you know, it's like, I just don't understand like why there has been like a new game kind of like Doom that's come out. It's almost like everyone was like, hey, you know that game that was really popular and made a ton of money? Yeah, we're not gonna make any of those anymore. And it's like, I don't understand the logic behind that. You know, it's like I almost feel like that's pretty loud. I almost feel like you know, like just a lot of the people who grew up today on like Halo and like all these Call of Duty, all those games, it's like they haven't gotten to experience like a fast-paced, really fun kind of game like Doom or Quake. So you know, it's like I almost feel like, you know, I need to like educate like this generation of gamers. You know, it's like really show them what games can be like. So
that's a pretty frequent topic of conversation for us at Astringent Gaming Journal. Been there at Silo behind the camera. You're just talking about, you know, Halo and Call of Duty and stuff, just kind of ruining things. I mean, not 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, so. You know, I just think the last thing the world needs is another brown photorealistic warfare-based shooter. So.
But at the same time, Wrack does have a little bit of the brownness going on.
Yeah, and a little bit of that is unintentional. We've kind of been trying to figure out. We've been trying to figure out our texture style and how to color levels and everything.
Right.
We're still, you know, we're not trying to find our voice, but we're trying to find our look, our vision. You know, and we're slowly figuring it out. Yeah, we know there's some issues with the current levels and everything, which 4chan has been so kind to point out. But you know, we're fixing them. We're aware of them, and we've been working hard on like really going back and retexturing some of the levels to add some color and variety and everything.
Right. The version I have that you sent to me doesn't have that fancy new like city skyline in the background.
Yeah. It's very dark. It's very gray.
Right, and I think that really adds a lot to it. So drastic improvement. I saw this game for the first time last year at QuakeCon, and since then, I mean, it's come a long way, I would say. And now you have 3 complete levels, or
yeah. But the first one is the first one we're working on retexturing. The next 2 are textured, but they're not completely retextured yet. So we're working on that.
Okay.
And then once those 3 levels are done, we're going to start a Minecraft style pre-order, and you'll be able to get those 3 levels and any updates well, not any. We'll be able to get all the updates we make after that. There should be updates every week or 2. But you know, as we keep making new levels and finishing new textures, you know, you'll be able to get those for free. So, but you know, we're listening to what everyone's saying. We're trying to figure things out. We're making progress. You know, I think we've made a lot of progress in the past year, and I think we're going to keep making a lot of progress. So, yeah, just in the past month, like things have progressed so much. We've got some new people on the team who are really doing a great job. And you know, I'm just excited where things are going. So.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing the finished product. I mean, it's been great to see it come along so far as it has. And
thanks.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And well, I guess is there anything else that you'd like to say? Maybe talk about the bosses a little bit more.
Yeah, sure.
You said the Mega Man style kind of thing. You know, well, I guess instead of just having, you know, more health on the enemy, it's like you have to really think about its patterns.
Right, yeah, exactly. I always loved the bosses in Mega Man because there was always like a set pattern to the way they attack. And, like the first time you play them, like they beat you down. Like you're lost. You don't know what's going on. You die in like 3 seconds. But then you know, you play a few more times and you're like, all right, okay, I think I see what's going on here. Oh, he always jumps like this, and then he should. Okay, so if I sit here, he can't hit. Yeah, so the more you play it, the more you figure out.
Right.
And then after you play it a few times, you know, maybe 20 times or something, you have everything figured out. You have that thing mastered. Like you could kill them with like the weakest weapon, just without getting hit. And I think that kind of thing is so great. And you know, I think that's a lot more interesting than just you have to shoot faster, you have to hide better, you have to, you know, if it gives you a chance to learn and to figure things out. And it really gives you a chance to like master something. I think that's really interesting. You know, it's like I like games that facilitate learning instead of just having like the best reflexes, the best dexterity, the best.
Sure.
You know, and so I mean, I kind of feel like if you get to a boss that's like too hard, it's always going to be too hard. Like if you don't have the reflexes and muscle memory to beat it. So, you know, if you can put some way that people can figure it out, you know, maybe look at strategy guides, look at YouTube videos. You know, I think that's a lot more interesting way of doing a boss.
Sure.
So, but you know, each boss in Wrack has like, you know, 3 or 4 or 5 or however many attacks. You know, they're all like kind of scripted, and the behavior of each track is the behavior of each attack is trying to get you to do something. Like they're trying to get you to attack, they're trying to get you to like stand in a certain spot, trying to get you to jump over something. So it's like the boss is kind of leading your behavior. Like it kind of tells you what to do.
That's an interesting way to think about it. Yeah. Now, would you say that? Well, how many bosses are you hoping to include? One for each level, or?
Well, the way Wrack's levels are, it has 3 episodes, and we're primarily focusing on the first episode. Like, I haven't even thought about episode 2 and 3, barely. But each level has like an intro map, which is like the first level of the map, which has like its own theme and everything, and that level has a boss. Then after that, there's like pairs of levels. So it's like there's going to be like 2 maps in a recycling center, 2 maps in a fusion plant, and each one of those maps ends with a boss. And then there's a finale map at the end, which kind of like recaps the episode. And there's another boss at the end of that. So I think we're looking at like 5 bosses per episode. So like 15 in total.
Okay, so cool.
Yeah, we don't want to put too much stress on the off-camera modelers here. Yeah, having to come up with too many concepts and models, but you know, at the same time, we want there to be. Yeah, I was kind of disappointed, like Painkiller. Like it seemed like you play the first few levels and you think like, oh my god, there's like a boss every few levels, and then there's like afterwards there's only like one like for every like 20 levels or something. You know, so
haven't even finished.
Yeah.
Now, would you say there's probably a lot of speedrun potential? Did I get that vibe?
Absolutely. I'm setting up 2, actually 3, special kinds of game modes. Actually 4. But anyway, there's going to be a time attack mode where people can run through. The goal is to run through the map as fast as possible. And there's also going to be score attack mode, which is you run through the map trying to get the highest score possible. And the way both of these attack modes are going to work is when you run through the map and get either your best score or best time. If you get that, it's going to automatically save your replay. So you can go back and watch like what you did to accomplish this amazing feat of time or score. And we're also going to have a leaderboard system, so like everyone can like submit automatically their best time and score, and their replay also automatically gets submitted. And that's going to allow like others to like not only look at all the best times and scores on the leaderboard, but also watch what the person did to accomplish that. So, I mean, that's something that Mega Man 10 did. I thought like, wow, this is really cool. Because I actually did that a whole bunch. I got like I don't know, like the 10th best time on one of the levels.
Oh wow! Wow.
Yeah, but it's like I learned how to do that from like watching what everyone else did, and then kind of came up with my own little twists and everything. But it's just so interesting to like watch what other people are doing to accomplish these amazing things. Because sometimes people are really creative.
Right, and it's like how did they do that? How can I improve on what they did?
Exactly.
Maybe I can shave off 2 seconds.
Right.
And that's a driving force for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Like something with like Portal. Like I played through Portal 1 recently, and Portal has a bunch of challenge maps that you have to like get through a map with like the least amount of steps possible. And I mean, if I had never like gone to like YouTube and like watched like what other people had to do to accomplish these things, like stacking cameras on top of each other, it's like you'd never figure it out. But at the same time, seeing other people do it, it's like, man, I can't believe someone figured that out. That's amazing. But I think it's gonna be nice not having to like run to YouTube to like watch the best time.
At the same time, though, I mean, gamers have kind of a communal hive mind. If somebody does something, it's probably online, and you can probably learn how they did it.
Exactly.
So it's almost as though there's never going to be a truly fastest speed run because it's like, oh yeah, I can invent that.
Yeah.
And sure, it takes work, but there's people out there who definitely.
I guess you could always like unplug your internet connection if you don't want the demo to be submitted. So keep it under wraps. So.
Yeah, the automatic submission I think is an interesting concept because if you allow people to submit only what they want to, then it's like, oh well, here's my amazing time, but usually I get half of this or whatever. I mean, I know that's probably not the case, but I like where you're going with the automatic stuff. So
it should be interesting. I mean, we still have yet to see how it's going to turn out. Maybe everyone will hate it. I don't know, but it should be interesting.
Well, I think we've talked for a while. I want to give you a chance to say anything else you'd like to say just to the internet about the internet.
I just hope people really. I just really hope people give it a try, give it a chance. We've worked really hard on this. A lot of thought's gone into it. We've given a lot of thought to like the secrets and the level structures and everything, and just the gameplay. I encourage. We'll probably have like a demo out, a totally free demo at some point. It might take till episode 1 is released, and hopefully we'll have that on Steam and everything. But I encourage people to check it out. I think we've, I mean, obviously I'm a little biased, but I think we've got something that has a lot of potential here. I think it's a lot of fun, and I think it looks great. It's going to keep getting better. But I think it's something that people will really get into. There's a lot there. So.
Awesome. One more thing that I want to make a point about that I found out from the trailer is that you're having music from Bobby Prince.
Oh, I should have mentioned that. Yeah.
I completely forgot to even bring it up, but Bobby Prince, as you may know, is the man behind the music for games like Wolfenstein and Doom. And so
Duke Nukem 3D.
Duke Nukem 3D. He's got this is a pedigree. This is a top quality, legendary artist. And so how did you get in touch with him? How did that happen?
Well, basically from day one, like he was always the guy I wanted. I just love the music he made for Doom and Doom 2. I actually bought the soundtrack that he put out. I listened to it in my car and stuff. So, you know, I knew he hadn't done anything for a while, and we started to get to a point where it's like, you know, we need to start thinking about music and sound. I contacted him because, you know, I'd go onto his website every now and then, so I knew he had that up. So I went there, I contacted him, and he was like, hey, you know, I've got this project I'm working on. Do you still do music and sound for games? And, you know, he said he did, and I forget exactly what happened there, but I know he did like a whole bunch of research on me, Skulltag, the project at the time, to see if it was something he wanted to do. You know, he really did his homework. I was impressed with how much he had figured out. You know, I guess it sounded like he was something he was interested in, and we ended up talking for like 5 or 6 hours, like on Skype later on. And you know, we've just kind of gone forward from there. He's done such an amazing job. Like, I mean, I know I shouldn't be surprised by it, but I still kind of am. You know, I'm still kind of like amazed. The quality of like the sound of the music that he's created has just been amazing. Yeah, I mean, maybe it's just because, you know, I'm just listening to the low quality sound that's like in Doom. You know, because it's like there were memory limitations and everything, so everything just sounds so much better now. But I mean, not only is like the music and sound he's made been amazing, but he's also like helped craft the sound engine. So you know, he's helped me like, you know, he's helped me like implement the various effects. You know, he's like, hey, you should put in the Doppler effect. You should give it these values and everything. So I mean, he's helped like add so much depth to the sound engine that everything just sounds great in it now. And you know, he's also done a lot of beta testing too, and had a lot of great ideas. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But no, but I'm just, I mean, he's just done such a great job so far. And just the music and like the sounds just fit so well with everything.
I definitely think it's one of the strongest. I mean, I don't want to say strong, yes, as though the game is no fun but the sound is good. But I think it's one of the most memorable, I guess, things about the game.
Absolutely.
Just having spent a little bit of time.
It's a little unfortunate being here at QuakeCon, where it's like people can't listen to the music and sound while they're playing.
It is the downside.
Unless they you know, want to get the headphones really dirty. But yeah, it's, you know, I can't wait to have like one level like really super finished and polished, just so I can put up like a gameplay video of it that has like the music and sound playing.
Right. The trailer you have now has Sean's Got the Shotgun.
Yeah, yeah.
And a great song, but it's from Doom 2.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
So,
which people have let me know.
Yes, but the music for Wrack is not just Doom music. It's different. It's got its own feel. It's got its own direction, and so, you know, it's not like you're playing Doom. It's like you're playing a new game, and that's something I kind of wanted to stress to people whenever I.
And by the way, one of the new tracks, Crusher, is available. You know, I have put it up on YouTube, so you can go listen to it.
Okay, cool. I'll have to do that. And but anyway, I think we've talked for a while, and I think we should close down. I think that's everything. All the big stuff.
Does YouTube allow 4-hour videos? Or?
I think it's only 3 hours and 59 minutes.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, we should be good then.
Yeah. But it's been a great interview. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And,
Thank you.
Thanks for.
I appreciate it so much.
Yeah, man. I just want to get the word out there. So.
Wrackgame.com.
Wrackgame.com. And what time are you expecting to maybe release your episode?
We're hoping to have something done. I would say a couple months. So, and you'll be able to pre-order it and start playing right away. So
be looking for it. Wrackgame.com, and of course AstringentGaming.com. We should be doing more coverage. So keep an eye on it. Thanks.
Thank you.